Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Gregory Contracting and Excavating Billy Kaylor Show, where we cover everything in Lower Afton with the Chuckey-Doak Black Knights. As always, I'm here with Black Knights head coach Billy Kaylor. Coach, how you doing this morning?
Doing all right, man. Doing all right.
You got a hoodie on. It's a little cooler now.
A little bit cooler. It was flat cold yesterday.
I know. It's starting to feel more like football weather now.
That's right. That's right.
But I had a conversation with another coach this week. In Tennessee, it really doesn't go from summer to fall in a way. You kind of go straight from summer to winter in sorts, because you get the days like today where it feels sort of like fall, but then when the sun goes down and you're playing football on a Friday night, it's too chilly.
That's right. That's right.
It gets too chilly almost.
I like it. I'd take that over sweating any day of the week.
That's true. You're from deep in South Carolina, so it probably never touched down in the 70s for you on a Friday night in October.
No, not until November.
Yeah.
Usually you wouldn't wear long sleeves until probably the second round.
Wow. So, of playoffs?
Yeah.
Wow. So you're all bundled up now here in Tennessee. It's a little more different for you now. It's kind of a culture shock.
I'll take it.
Wasn't that chilly this past Friday night when you took on Johnson County here at home on the Black Hole? We'll talk about that a little bit. Couldn't get things going on offense. Had a 12-3 loss here at home. Take us through that night. Take us through some of the moments and take us through some of the struggles you faced in that game.
Well, Johnson County's a good football team. And told our kids all week, you got to play well to beat them. They're a good football team, and thought we played really well defensively. We really gave up 6 points, had a pick six to give them 12. Moved the ball effectively at times. Just didn't play great across the board offensively. A lot of areas to look at, but none of it's kind of perfect storm of you can weather. As an offense or as a team, you can weather a couple of positions playing bad or a couple of bad plays here and there, and we just kind of had a conglomeration of nobody playing really well, and or not nobody, but as a group we didn't play well offensively, and when you play a good football team, it turns into making it hard to move the football, and you had a couple of turnovers in there, and all of a sudden you're in a dogfight, and had a chance there late to kick the field goal and make it a one-possession game, and it got tipped, still almost went in, but it got tipped, and had that went in, it would probably have been a different football game. But it's high school football. Sometimes you just don't play great, and they played well. They deserve to win.
I want to talk about Marco a little bit also, because we've talked about how beneficial it is to have a kicker in high school in recent weeks, and it's very beneficial to have him on your team. He was able to get those three on the board with that 39-yard kick, almost made that 40-yard one that got tipped. He's been a player that you didn't see get utilized a lot earlier in the season, but now as you've gotten into region play more, you started to use him a little bit more. Have you grown more of a confidence in him as the season's grown?
I don't think it was ever a lack of confidence. Just he's doing a lot for us. He's kicking off. He's playing corner. He's playing receiver. That's a lot to put on a kid. And leg wise, you kind of worry how much leg does he have late in the game. But we've had some, and we haven't had a lot of opportunities where we really needed to kick field goals. And we've had those opportunities of late, and he's certainly come through. He's got a big leg. He's a good player.
I think that was more of what it was, is you just haven't had the opportunity to kick field goals. You've been able to get it in the end zone a lot. Wasn't the case this game, though. You had some struggles that you faced offensively. What were some of those struggles? I know you weren't able to get into the end zone, and I don't know if you touched the red zone much besides one possession, but what were some of the struggles that you faced offensively?
They were filling really well in the run game, and we'd rip one off pretty good, and then they'd fill fast, and we'd either misfit a double team or not come off from a linebacker fast enough, and they'd hit us for a loss, and we just never could get a stride. We never could get momentum. It was just a series of unfortunate events. We'd block it real well and miss a cut, or we'd have everything dialed up protection-wise and miss a throw, or we'd be in good shape on the back end and miss a protection, or we never got on rhythm, never got on pace. That led to frustration. Frustration grows, and you end up with a fairly unproductive night, unfortunately.
We talked about your offense facing struggles, your defense, so another stout performance from them. As you said, you only allowed 6 points on defense, and it was the first possession of the game where they wasted half of the play clock in the first quarter and go down and score. The rest of the way, they weren't able to do much of anything.
No.
You forced some great plays, too, where you got lucky and the punt sailed over the punter's head.
Yep.
You had some plays where you had some huge tackles for loss. Talk about your defense and the production that they showed.
Man, they've grown a ton the last few weeks and have really played well. They're really buying into what we're doing, and it shows. Like I said, we took us a drive to get dialed in. We got dialed in and really put them in some bad spots. And they, in high school football game, if you can hold a team to 12 points, you should be able to win. And they did everything we needed them to do defensively Friday. We just couldn't answer on offense.
And I know Brazen's been a staple of conversation once every week on this show. He had another great night, 26 carries, 135 yards, wasn't able to find the end zone, but man, he did about just what you wanted him to do, getting over 100 yards, getting 135 in total on an average of about 5 or 6 a carry. He just wasn't able to push you into the end zone, but talk about the amazing night that he had.
Yeah, he played well. We ran the ball well. Like I said, at times we really ran the ball well. Just weren't able to consistently put it together in drives such a way that we could move the football down the field. And then when we did, we put ourselves in position to throw the ball, and we weren't executing that great for a myriad of reasons. So, he played well. He ran the ball hard, and like I said, at times we had him blocked up pretty good. We just couldn't do it consistently enough.
It's never good to take a loss, but the good news is you've got time to work on that. You're going into a bye week now.
Yep.
Going into a bye week on your fall break. We'll go ahead and talk about that a little bit in the second half. Talk about the conference standings and talk about who they play the rest of the season right after this break here on Grassroots Media.
Pizza Inn's new Right Way Buffet is open and ready for you and your family. Now with new garlic buttery crust and stuffed crust pizza, along with salads and desserts. It's the best part of your day. The all-day, everyday buffet. Only at Pizza Inn Greenville.
Tommy's Plumbing has provided professional plumbing services to the residents of Greenville, Tennessee for over 30 years. Our experience and reputation have helped us grow our business to add locations in Jonesboro, Tennessee. Tommy's Plumbing is local and family owned, and we offer a full line of plumbing services, such as kitchen faucet, shower faucets, commodes, and bathroom faucets, as well as drain cleaning. We also provide outside plumbing work, such as septic and sewer drain cleanouts, as well as repair and replace. Tommy's Plumbing pretty much does it all. Tommy's Plumbing is licensed, bonded, and insured. Our quality workmanship and passion to provide our clients with expert service is second to none. We guarantee we have the best warranty around. For all your plumbing needs, give Tommy's a call at 638-3662.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Gregory Contracting and Excavating Billy Kaylor Show, where we cover everything on the Black Hole with the Chuckey-Doak Black Knight football team. As always, I'm sitting here with Black Knight's head coach, Billy Kaylor. So you're getting to go in the bye week now.
Yep.
What do you plan on doing during the bye week? I know it's a time to kind of regroup. It's a time to kind of heal some lingering injuries.
Yep.
Kind of take some time to yourself, rest up, heal up. It's coming on a perfect time where you have fall break also.
Yep.
So what do you plan on doing during the bye week this year?
Yeah, we're going to practice a few days and kind of shorter practices and just, it's tough, especially with young kids. Their families go on vacation, during fall break, you can't, it's hard for a bunch of freshmen to lobby to stay home by themselves. So missing a few guys this week, but, we're getting a jump on Unicoi and kind of starting to get prepped for them, as well as working on some base fundamental stuff that we need to improve on. And like I said, take some time to kind of rest and recuperate and reset ourselves going into our last little region push here, and then hopefully in the playoffs.
The bye week is always a good time to reset your mind. Mm-hmm. And that's great that it's on fall break, too, because you kind of get that mental break.
Absolutely.
You get that mental break from football in a way. You get that mental break from school.
That's right.
You don't have a game to prep for on Friday night.
That's
you
right.
can kind of pay attention to Unicoi County a little bit coming up next week, but for the most part, you don't have as much to worry about. Is that kind of the sense through the program that you kind of get a week to kind of rest your mindset and kind of get a mental break?
Yeah, you kind of reset and breathe a minute. We're lucky right now we don't have a bunch of injuries. Sometimes you have to take quite a bit of time to rehab injuries. We don't have to do much of that. We're just kind of taking a deep breath, resetting after a disappointing loss and getting ready to, like I said, come back on Monday of next week and be full tilt into Unicoi. But it's a good timing with fall break is really, really nice for coaches and players. You get 8 games in and everybody's tired. Mm-hmm. That little time off to kind of reset your mind, and for us as coaches, you get to spend a little time with your family, and we don't get during the season most of the time, so that's been pretty nice.
That was going to lead into my next topic. Do you like having a bye week so late during the season here in week 9?
Yeah, I've done it a bunch of different ways. I don't mind it late. The hard thing about a bye week is it all depends on how your schedule falls. Mm-hmm. For us, bye week's not bad right now because we come into 2 games we got to be ready to play. They're region games that matter. I've done it before where you got a bye week going into a game that you can roll your twos out there and win 49-0, and that makes that bye week super tough because those kids know they got basically 2 weeks where they don't have to do much. I've had them early in the year, and have to play 10 straight. So it just depends on your group of kids and how your schedule falls and all that stuff. Timing it with fall break is pretty dang nice, though, I will say.
I think it's more beneficial. If I were a coach, I'd like to have it later rather than earlier in the season.
Well, you certainly do give yourself a chance to rehab injuries. If you got injuries, you got a chance to get back from those. Never fails, though. The years you got it late, you don't have very many injuries, and the years you got it early, you got a bunch of them. So it just, Murphy's Law there.
Yeah.
But
Ben Murphy's Law?
Maybe
Ben Murphy's Law.
Yeah.
I'm still yet to get Ben on here. We've got to get Ben once. Come on, Ben. You might not see this, but if you do, we got to get you on here once. I don't care if it's this show, one of Coach Donahue's. Yeah.
If he brings us a plate of wings or something, he can come crash.
That is true. Maybe we could do it at the tap room.
That's right. There you go.
Maybe.
I've heard worse ideas.
Let's talk about the conference, too. You're still in the driver's seat. There's a lot of things that could still happen in this conference. You look at it, it's still wide open. It's not like some conferences that I've paid attention to where things are pretty much set in stone outside of maybe a few huge upsets. Yours is still pretty wide open.
Yeah.
I know you've still got 2 on the schedule,
Yep.
2 important matchups against Unicoi County and the top team in the region with Gatlinburg-Pittman. I know with the win this past week, Johnson County moved up to 2nd place, but they still have an important conference game with Unicoi County left to go, and Unicoi County still has 3 left to go with Johnson County, U-All, and Claiborne. Right now it sits Gatlinburg-Pittman, Johnson County, Chuckey-Doak, Unicoi County. Everything is within your reach to still finish top 2 or first place and get that first round, or I think it's first 2
home
playoff games. Talk about what your mindset is within the standings at the moment.
Well, yeah, told our kids, it's certainly frustrating to lose, especially lose a game like we lost and how we played, and felt like if we play well, we got a chance to beat Johnson County. So, they're really frustrated and upset by that, and I understand that. And I told them, but, at the end of the day, the season's not over. Everything we want is still within reach. We can still have an opportunity to win a region championship. We still have an opportunity to play a home playoff game. We are completely within the driver's seat to go play in the postseason. And anytime, tell kids all the time, once you get to the postseason, it's a whole new season, and anything can happen. We see it every year in March Madness. Somebody gets upset who shouldn't. Once you get to the postseason, I'll take my dang chances. So everything we want is still within reach. We just got to keep working. And the most important one's the next one, which is Unicoi, because all of a sudden you lose 2 region games and things get a little dicey. So you want to make sure we get that one tied down, and then we'll worry about Gatlinburg, and then we go worry about playoffs.
The good news, I think at this point you're locked into the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a mathematical way that you would get knocked out of the playoffs, even with losing the rest of your schedule. I think you're still mathematically locked in.
Probably so.
Because Claiborne and Pigeon Forge are sitting right now at 0-3. So even if it would come to one of those teams winning out and you losing out and going 2-3, you still have the head-to-head over each team. So you're locked in the playoffs at this point.
Which is certainly a good feeling. But we want to finish as high as possible, get the best seed we can. And all those things are still available and still options for us. So we just got to make sure we take care of our business.
I love looking at scenarios, too. I don't know if you're the same way. Where you look at scenario A, B, C.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll look at that later because this is the conference that I think you can have the most scenarios with, where Unicoi County still has to play U-All. That's 2nd and 3rd. So if you beat them and they go on to beat Johnson County, you jump up there. Then it comes down to you and Gatlinburg-Pittman last week. So-and-so, if Johnson County beats them and you beat them, so it's going to be fun.
You can get on a rabbit hole in this thing real fast.
You can. You can kind of wrap your brain around that when you have the free time, and I'll probably do that later on. I won't spend everybody's time doing that right now because we would take up a whole nother segment of 5 to 10 minutes trying to do that. But that's all we've got this week. You got the bye week, perfect time to rest up. We'll talk about Unicoi County a little bit next week. It's fall break. I hope all the students that are watching this, all the players enjoy their fall break. For all the Chuckey-Doak fans and supporters, no game this week. Won't be able to come down to Lower Afton to watch one. You can do that in, I believe, 3 weeks against Gatlinburg-Pittman on senior night. You'll be traveling to Irwin next time to play up there in Gentry Stadium. But Coach, that's all I got for you this week. Appreciate you for sitting down with me once again. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Gregory Contracting and Excavating Billy Kaylor Show. Look forward to seeing you next time here on Grassroots Media.